mother...
What do you know from funny, you bastard?
The Jell-O program, starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingstone and Phil Harris and his orchestra.
Thank you. This is Groucho Marx. Well, here I am, stepping in over my head again.
With Fibber McGee and Molly.
Folks, this is just as new to me as it is to you.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Benny, this is Rochester.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Well, what an original greeting.
Hello and welcome to another week of comedy, funny, haha, on Dwayne Old Time Radio. One thing, please subscribe to my channel. If you enjoy what I'm doing, subscribing is 100% free. Also, one more thing, if you have a few seconds or 1 minute, please leave a review on your preferred podcast service, especially if you're on Apple, Spotify, or really just your preferred podcast service. Thank you and hope you enjoy. In the month, Jack Benny, dog catcher of Beverly Hills, November 10th, 1940, and then Jack, the head of Paramount, November 17th, 1940. Jack Benny ends November with, since we're getting into holiday season, this is a Thanksgiving, the first one is a Thanksgiving themed story. Ostrich for Thanksgiving dinner, November 19th, 1939. Second is Jack visits Don's new wife, November 24th, 1940.
J-E-L-L-O.
The Jell-O program, starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingstone, Phil Harris, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. The orchestra opens the program with It's a Whole New Thing. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the age of research. So we've been doing a little research on the subject of Jell-O. Well, we found out that the best days of the week to serve Jell-O are Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, which is just another way of saying that Jell-O is always, anytime, and every time a perfectly swell dessert. For Jell-O brings you that full, extra-rich flavor. A flavor as fresh and sunny as the real ripe fruit itself. And all 6 of Jell-O's famous flavors has the same rich goodness. Strawberry, raspberry, cherry, orange, lemon, and lime. A grand, satisfying flavor that has made Jell-O America's favorite gelatin dessert. And you like Jell-O's gay, appetizing appearance, too. Its shimmering, jewel-like colors that make it look so inviting. So enjoy some tomorrow. Just be sure to get genuine Jell-O and don't accept any substitutes. Look for those big red letters on the box. They spell Jell-O. It's a Whole New Thing, played by Phil Harris and his orchestra. And now, ladies and gentlemen, once again we bring you our master of ceremonies. That bubbling personality, that effervescent comedian, that fizz, Jack Benny.
Well, thank you. Now, hello again. This is Jack Benny, the carbonated kid, talking. And, Don, I like that introduction. It fits me to a T. I am bubbling and effervescent. The fizz, you can have that.
Well, Jack, let me explain. When I called you a fizz, it was really a compliment. I meant you were physical.
Mm-hmm.
You know, fizz for short.
I understand, Don, perfectly. In other words, if you called me a mug, you'd really mean I was magnificent. Is that it?
Exactly.
Well, Don, if you think I fell for that, you're a fathead, and that's short for your whole body. Anyway, Don, let's not get into a routine because I know how you appreciate a good story. And I heard a gag a few minutes ago that will positively put every one of your tins in motion. Oh, yeah, it's a honey.
It's a good one, huh?
Well, Virgil, the sound man, told it to me, and you know what a clown he is. Just get this, Don. Don, I haven't even told you the story yet. What are you laughing at?
Is it the one about the nearsighted old maid that married the midget?
No, heavens, no, Don. Heavens, not that one. This is a brand new story. Get this. There was a fellow walking down the street, and he was leading a pink alligator on a leash, when all of a sudden it started to act up and snap at him.
Uh-huh.
So the guy got annoyed, turned around to this pink alligator and said, "You better behave yourself or I'll take a bromo seltzer and that'll be the end of you." Oh, isn't that terrific, Don?
Oh, it sure is. That Virgil has a great sense of humor.
Yes,
Gee, that was a funny story, Mr. Benny.
Oh, Dennis, I didn't see it. Did you like it?
Yeah. But there's one thing that puzzles me.
What?
If the man was walking down the street, where did he get the bromo seltzer?
Well, I don't know. He probably had a box of it in his pocket.
Oh. Then I guess he had a glass of water in his other pocket.
Yes, Dennis, and a banjo on his knee. Now, don't worry about it. Say, you're here kind of early tonight, Dennis. Where's your mother?
She's across the street in the bowling alley.
In the bowling alley? Well, with her legs, she better watch out. Anyway, Dennis, I'm glad you're here on time tonight. Now, try and make a habit of it.
You know, Jack, I can't get over that story you told me. It's silly, but I get a great kick out of it.
Isn't it ridiculous? Oh, hello, Mary.
Hello, Jack. What's so funny?
Mary, I must tell you. Did you hear the story about the fellow that was walking down the street leading a pink alligator on a leash?
Is that the one where the man said, "I'll take a bromo seltzer and that'll be the end of you"?
Yes.
No, tell it to me.
Well, this guy was... Wait, you just told me the answer. I thought you said you never heard it.
Oh, stop, Jack. That's one of the oldest jokes in the world.
Mary, jokes happen to be my business. And if that was the oldest joke in the world, I'd be the first one to know it.
Should I let him have it, folks?
Never mind. Do me a favor, will you, Mary? Go out and come back in again.
Well, gee, Jack, as long as you're telling jokes, why don't you tell a good one? I heard a gag last night that was terrific.
Oh, you did, eh?
Yeah. A man walked into the house and said to his wife, "It's raining cats and dogs outside."
Uh-huh.
And she said, "How do you know?"
Mm-hmm.
And he said,
I just stepped in a poodle. I know where you heard that, Mary, at the Wilshire Bowl. Phil Harris has been husking that for 3 years. That's his theme joke. You know, Don, Phil's idea of humor is really pitiful.
Oh, I don't know about that, Jack. I was at the bowl one night, and the people screamed at him.
Sure they scream at him. Every time he finishes a gag, he has a waiter throw a custard pie in his face. That's why.
I didn't see anybody do that.
Oh, well, you must have been their bucket of water night. That's his idea of changing material.
Well, I'll say one thing about Phil. He sure attracts the young collegiate crowd. All the college boys go there.
They have to go there, Mary. That's part of their initiation. Before they can join a fraternity, they have to either listen to Harris or sleep all night in a graveyard.
In a graveyard?
Yes, and you'll be surprised at the number of kids around here that aren't afraid of ghosts. Yes, sir.
You know, Jack, Phil sure believes in that college spirit. Look at that sign on the bass drum.
Oh, yeah. Phil Harris and his collegians. Look, he spells collegians with one L.
Well, he spells Phil with two, so it's all even.
You know, Mary, sometimes I think that Phil...
Jiggers, here he comes now.
Don't jiggers me. Oh, hello, Phil.
Hiya, Jackson. What's going on?
Well, to tell the truth, Phil, for the last 5 minutes, we've been talking about you.
Well, a little build-up ain't never hurt nobody.
No, Phil, and never done you no good, either. Your grammar's worse than Abe Lyman's, and he never got beyond block.
Well, who cares about grammar? I got other things to worry about.
Oh, I can imagine. Say, Phil, I noticed that new sign you got on the bass drum. What happened to that corny painting you used to have there?
Corny?
Yeah, you know, the one with the yellow moon and the green river and the purple trees. Remember that one, Mary?
Yeah, he used to call it Gypsy Doodle by Rembrandt.
That's the one. Whatever happened to that painting, Phil?
I sold it to the Metropolitan Museum in New York.
You mean the Museum of Fine Art?
I don't know what they got there, but that's the joint that bought it.
Phil, are you crazy?
Crazy nothing. Someday that picture will be hanging in Paris, right next to the Mona Lulu.
Well, I'm not going to even bother to correct that. How do you like that, Mary? The most famous painting of a woman in the world, and Phil doesn't even know her name.
If she were alive, he'd know her name and phone number.
and her address and what she's doing on Friday night. Well, I got myself on a detour for no reason at all. And besides...
Say, Jack, why don't you tell Phil that story the sound man told you? He'll get a kick out of it.
Oh, he wouldn't even get it.
Come on, Jackson, what is it? Let's hear it.
All right, Phil. Do you know the one about the fellow who was walking down the street and his pink alligator snapped at him?
Know it. I'm the guy that drank the bromo.
There you are, fellas. He's always got a brilliant comeback, even if he has to make a bum out of himself. Oh, Dennis.
Yes, please?
How about a song before we get involved again?
Okay, Mr. Benny. I'm going to sing an old favorite by Stephen Foster called Jeannie with the Light Brown Hair.
Oh, that's swell, Dennis. I love those old songs.
Old songs, old gags. What this program needs is glands.
Mary, you just attend to your own little knitting. I'll handle the show. Sing, Dennis. The guy that drank the bromo.
I dream of Jeannie with a light brown hair, born like a vapor on the golden air. I see her tripping where the bright spring plays, happy as a daisy along her way. Many are the wild notes a merry voice would call. Many are the blithe birds that warble them all. Oh, I dream of Jeannie with the light brown hair, floating like a vapor on the soft summer air. I long for Jeannie with the day-dawn smile, radiant with gladness, warm with winning guile. I hear her melodies, a tune to love, warm as the sunlight from heaven above. Many are the fond notes a merry voice would call, echoed by the birds in the grove, o'er and o'er. I sigh for Jeannie with a light brown hair, floating like a vapor on the soft summer air. On the soft
Jeannie with the light brown hair, sung by Dennis Day. And Dennis, those old songs always do something to me. I love them.
Me too.
Jeannie with the light brown hair. What a grand title. You know, Dennis, I used to have light brown hair in my hair.
Why, Jack, from the pictures I've seen of you, I thought you had black hair.
No, Don, it was brown. Sort of a russet brown. You know, just like the leaves in autumn.
Well, rake 'em up and let's get on with the show.
Mary, I wish you'd stop with those interruptions. Anyway, Dennis, I noticed another thing. Your singing seems to improve every week. You're gaining poise and confidence.
Well, thanks, Mr. Benny.
Just think, this is your 7th week on my program.
7 weeks. Gee.
Yes, sir.
Am I going to get paid pretty soon?
Pretty soon, Dennis. And now, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are going to...
Hey, Jackson, why don't you pay the kid?
Phil, I intend to pay him. I'm merely holding his salary until he's a little older. I'm teaching Dennis how to save money.
Well, he's learning from the top man.
Thanks, Miss Livingstone. And if I were you, I wouldn't say another word unless you rube it up on the Lum and Abner program. And now, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are going to...
Here you are, Dennis. Did you sing your song yet?
Yes, Mother.
Well, good evening, Mrs. Day.
Good evening.
Oh, Mother, you should have been here a few minutes ago. Mr. Benny told the funniest joke.
It was rather good. Tell it to her, Dennis.
Well, Mr. Benny was walking down the street leading a pink alligator.
Oh, Stewed, eh?
Dude, it wasn't me, Mrs. Day. Dennis got the story all wrong. I never touch a drop of liquor.
Then why have you got that red nose?
Because I'm a comedian. What do you think? My tie lights up, too. This story, Mrs. Day, is about a man who takes a bromo seltzer and gets rid of a pink alligator.
What's funny about that?
Nothing. It's very sad. I'm crying like anything. Oh, what a dame.
What's that?
I said, oh, what a game. I saw UCLA play Santa Clara yesterday. It was thrilling. And now, ladies and gentlemen, if you will please forgive my outburst, as I started to announce, tonight we are going to offer an original little playlet all about Thanksgiving, written especially for the occasion by Mary Livingstone. Mary, let me have it, will you?
Oh, Jack, I forgot to tell you.
What?
I changed my mind about a Thanksgiving play, and I wrote a poem instead.
A poem?
Hey, Mary, you mean to say we're not going to do a Thanksgiving play?
No.
Gee, and I was all set to be one of them pilgrims.
Oh, fine. You'd make a great pilgrim, Phil.
Well, I would. Listen, buddy, my ancestors came over on the Mayflower.
Oh, did it dock in Dixie? I thought your family always lived in Tennessee.
Not originally. You see, we migrated from Massachusetts.
Migrated? You don't by any chance mean you migrated?
All right, we moved. Forget it.
Migrated. You hear that, Mary?
Yeah, he put in an extra syllable in it.
You're not palooling.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we get out of the mood, let me say a few words about Jalello.
Jalello?
It is economical, easy to make, and comes in 6 delicious flavors. So look for the big red letters on the barack.
Thanks, Don. You surveyed the day. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as we have no Thanksgiving play...
Mary Livingstone's going to read a Thanksgiving poem.
Oh, no, nothing doing.
Oh, gee, it's swell, Jack.
I don't care. You're not going to read it.
Jack Benny, you let me read this poem or I won't buy my Christmas card from you this year.
All right, a lot I make on the ones you get. You don't even have your name printed on them. Now go ahead with your poem.
Okay.
What's the title of it?
The title is Thanksgiving. You're a little mixed up, aren't you, kid?
Well, that fits. Go ahead.
Oh, Thanksgiving. Oh, Thanksgiving. You are with us twice this year. With your pumpkin pie and dressing, and your turkey, front and rear.
That's the part I always get.
The pilgrims planned in days of yore that you'd come once, not anymore. But now you are a double feature, and we don't know which day to greet you.
Greet you?
That's what I said, you gorgeous creature.
Now, don't be funny. Go ahead with the poem.
Suppose we had 2 everythings, 2 New Year's Eves to laugh and sing, 2 Christmases, 2 Labor Days, and 2 Jack Bennies with 2 toupees.
Mary, you're too pressing. Are you through?
No, but I'm coming into the stretch.
Oh.
So Thanksgiving I don't mind.
Well.
If you're a week before or a week behind. What's the difference? What the heck? The turkey's the guy that gets it in the neck. The end.
Very good. Mary, that was silly, but you came through with flying colors. And now, Phil, how about a number to kind of break things up here?
Okay, Jackson, what do you want us to play? Anything special?
Well?
You name it and we'll play it.
All right, how about that number you rehearsed all morning? You know, the only one you can possibly play.
Oh, okay. Hit it, boys.
He asked for request yet. Hold it a minute, Phil. Come in.
Mr. Benny?
Yes?
Are you a little mixed up on account of the 2 Thanksgivings this year?
Yes, I am. Why?
I was in a fog when we only had one. Goodbye.
He's not kidding, folks. He's got his shoes on backwards. Play, Phil. A swing version of an old favorite played by Phil Harris and his orchestra. And now, fellas...
Hey, what's the matter? Aren't you going to complain about the number we just played?
No, Phil, I thought it was pretty good. I liked it, didn't you, Mary?
Yeah, it was swell. Did you like it, Don?
I thought it was okay. How'd you like it, Jack?
Oh, it was great. How'd you like Phil's number, Mary?
Well, I thought it was a little loud in spots, didn't you, Don?
Yes, it seemed a little off here and there. What did you think of it, Jack?
I thought it was lousy. And now, fellas...
Hey, what is this, a rib?
Yes, Phil, we were just kidding. I thought your number sounded exceptionally good. Didn't you, Mary?
Feel me out. I'm tired.
Now, fellas, as I started to say a little while ago, and before I forget it, Thursday being Thanksgiving, I want all of you to come over to my house for a real old-fashioned turkey dinner. How about it?
Oh, that's great, Jack.
And Dennis, this invitation goes for you also.
His mother, too?
Yes, Mrs. Day, my party wouldn't be complete without you.
You don't sound very sincere about it.
Well, what do you want me to do, send you a mash note? Glad to have you. The more the merrier. Good heavens.
Say, Jack, is this party going to be like the one you gave last Thanksgiving?
What do you mean?
I mean, is the turkey going to be leg of lamb?
Don't worry about that, Mary. This is going to be a real dinner. I've got the biggest, fattest, juiciest turkey you ever saw.
Where'd you run over it?
I didn't run over it. It's a live turkey. I got it in my garage right now. It's roosting on my Maxwell.
That's all that car needs.
Well, you wait wait till you see that bird. I bet it weighs 65 pounds.
65 pounds? Why, Jack, you must be mistaken about that.
Oh, no, I'm not, Don. I had it on the scales. It's an enormous thing.
65 pounds. Are you kidding?
I'm not kidding. Wait till next Thursday and you'll see for yourself. It's going to be a swell party.
How many people are you expecting, Jack?
Well, there'll be our gang, and then I invited Clark Gable and Carol Lombard, Bob Taylor and Barbara Stanwyck, Tyrone Power and Annabella.
Oh, Jack, you always ask them to every party you give, and they never show up.
Well?
Why don't you stop inviting them?
I can't stop now. They'll think I'm mad at them. You know how it is.
How can they be mad at you when they don't even know them?
I don't even know them. Listen, Phil, I know every one of those stars personally.
Sure, Jack sells them their Christmas cards.
Mary, will you stop harping on that? The only reason you ever got cards from me is because I happen to have some left over.
Every year.
Oh, quiet. Now, don't forget, fellas, Thursday night at my house.
Oh, wait a minute, Jack. You know that.
Boy, we're going to have a big turkey and cranberry sauce and mashed potatoes. And, Don, guess what kind of Jell-O we're going to have for dessert?
Strawberry?
No.
Raspberry?
No.
Cherry?
No.
Orange?
No.
Lemon?
No. Give up?
Yes.
Lie. You see, Don, you almost had it.
There's a kindergarten commercial if I ever heard one.
Never mind, that's what we're going to have. Now, look, kids, if I don't see you again before Thanksgiving, be sure and be at my house by 7 o'clock sharp. And don't eat a big lunch so you'll really enjoy the turkey. I'll take it. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Benny. This is Rochester.
All right, what do you want?
Well, boss, I just heard you talking about a big Thanksgiving party Thursday night. That's my night off.
I'm sorry, Rochester, but you'll have to work. You can take a day off some other time.
I can get my twin brother to take my place.
I don't want your twin brother.
Well, he looks just like me.
I don't care if he does. I want you to be at my house on Thursday night.
How about me in spirit and my brother in person?
Rochester, don't try any tricks. I can tell the difference between you and your twin brother.
That's more than this gal can.
Never mind. Now, look, Rochester, I want you to get that turkey up to 70 pounds by Thanksgiving, so go out in the garage and feed it.
I'm working on a Christmas card.
They can wait. Now, go out in the garage and feed the turkey.
Okay. Oh, say, boss, I meant to ask you something about that bird. Are you sure it's a turkey?
What do you mean, am I sure it's a turkey?
Well, I went out in the garage a few minutes ago, and she laid an egg as big as a cantaloupe.
As big as a cantaloupe? What are you talking about?
Not only that, but every time I go in there, she sticks her head in a bucket of sand.
What?
Boss, you bought an ostrich.
I bought an ostrich?
That's right. She just ate the headlights off your car.
The headlights? How do you know?
She had 2 Adam's apples, and they were going down fast.
It's all your fault, Rochester. You were with me when I went shopping for a turkey. Why did you let me buy an ostrich?
I told you it was a pretty big bird for the money, but you know you.
Well, I guess there's nothing we can do about it now. Isn't that awful? I got a polar bear in the guest room and an ostrich in the garage.
And mice in the pantry. Let's move out.
Now, don't get panicky, Rochester. I'll be home in a few minutes. Meanwhile, call up the market and order a turkey.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh, say, boss.
What?
Have you changed your mind about using my twin brother Thursday night?
No, I haven't.
Well, I'll figure out something. Goodbye.
Wait a minute. Rochester! Rochester! Well, I'll be darned.
What's the matter, Jack?
Plenty. That big turkey I bought turned out to be an ostrich.
Oh, boy, you're going to be lonesome on Thanksgiving.
I am not. Now, Mary, don't worry. We're going to have a swell dinner. Play, Phil. I wonder if you can eat an ostrich. I don't
This year, some folks are celebrating Thanksgiving on the 23rd of the month, others on the 30th. Well, either way, I'd like to offer a suggestion in regard to your holiday menu. For dinner, of course, there'll be plum pudding or pumpkin pie, but later on in the evening, when supper time comes, bring the day's feasting to a fitting close with a truly out-of-the-ordinary dessert, a shimmering dish of golden lemon Jell-O. Now, there's really a luscious-looking dessert, ladies and gentlemen, a grand treat full of the ripe, tingling flavor of juicy lemons fresh from the tree, and glowing with the warm color of sunshine. And you can serve it in shapely molds garnished with fruit, nuts, and maraschino cherries. Or it can be sliced into dainty cubes, tumbled into parfait glasses, and topped with snowy whipped cream. Either way, it adds up to a mighty slick dessert that will catch every eye and capture every taste. And that goes for all the rest of Jell-O's 6 delicious flavors. Strawberry, raspberry, cherry, orange, lemon, and lime. Jell-O, remember, is a light dessert. Just the thing to appeal after a heavy midday meal. And it's quick and easy to make and Mother will appreciate it after cooking a big Thanksgiving dinner. So order genuine Jell-O from your grocer tomorrow.
Of the 7th program in the current Jell-O series, and we will be with you again next Sunday night at the same time. Now, don't forget, Mary, next Thursday night at my house for a real Thanksgiving dinner.
Count me out, Jack.
Now, wait a minute. I'm not going to serve that ostrich. I'm going to have a turkey.
Oh, you are, eh?
Yes.
Well, if I find a headlight in the dressing, watch out.
Oh, don't worry. Good night, folks, and a happy Thanksgiving. Here's news. Every Tuesday night, the Aldrich family is on the air, starring Ezra Stone as Henry Aldrich, that lovable hard luck kid. Consult your local newspaper or radio guide for time and stations, and be sure to tune in on the Aldrich family next Tuesday night.
Bluebirds in the Moonlight is from Gulliver's Travels. This is the National Broadcast.
J-E-L-L-O.
The Jell-O program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingstone, Phil Harris, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. The orchestra opens the program with Meet the People. In the news... Meet the People, played by the orchestra. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as is customary every Sunday night...
Wait a minute, Don. Wait a minute. Hold everything. This introduction is on me. All right, boys, let's have it. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to present the bridegroom of the Jell-O program, Don Wilson. Yes, sir. Well, there you are, Don. There's our little send-off for you. And we all wish you and the bride a lot of success and happiness.
Well, thank you, Jack. Thanks very much.
Why, Don, you're blushing.
I am Don.
You are, too. Look at them, folks. 300 pounds of love. Tell me, Don, where did you spend your honeymoon?
We went down to Coronado Beach for 3 days.
Oh, Coronado's an ideal place for a honeymoon. A beautiful hotel, gorgeous scenery, and a lovely swimming pool.
Yes, that terrible thing happened, Jack.
What?
We forgot to take our bathing suits.
Oh, that was a shame. A fine honeymoon with no swimming. But I'll tell you one thing, Don.
Hello, Don. Congratulations to the bridegroom.
Oh, thanks, Mary.
Isn't that wonderful, Mary? Just think. Little Cupid shot his arrow and hit our own Donzie.
Well, if Cupid couldn't hit Wilson, he ought to go out of business.
Mary, be sentimental, will you? Say, by the way, Don, did you get the wedding present I sent you? I hope you liked it.
Oh, it's beautiful, Jack. Thanks. I haven't seen any of those in a long time.
Well, it was no easy job getting it. I had to shop all over.
What did he give you, Don?
A lovely bowl of wax fruit.
Yes, sir. You know, Don, I was going to send you some silverware, but you know how it is. Everybody sends silverware.
Everybody but Benny. He sends wax fruit.
I knew what I was doing, Mary. You know, newlyweds always get more silver than they can use.
Well, not in our case, Jack. As a matter of fact, we didn't get any silver at all.
Oh, Don, I wish I had known that.
Yeah, you could have sent him a lock of your hair.
right, Mary. How was I to know?
I never saw anybody like you, Jack. You always give the oldest, corniest presents.
Is that so?
Last year at my birthday, you sent me a bustle.
But it was full of chocolates. Don't forget that. Supposed to be a novelty. Spent $1.50 a pound for that bustle, and she's complaining. Anyway, Don.
Well, what good is candy after you sit on it?
You weren't supposed to sit on it. Anyway, Don.
Hard centers yet.
Now, Mary, forget it. Anyway, Don liked the wedding gift I sent him. He said it was lovely.
Sure was, Jack. But I meant to tell you something about that bowl of fruit.
Oh, is there something wrong with it?
Yes, one of the bananas doesn't light up.
It doesn't?
No.
Well, take it back, brother. Take it back. I bought it at Magnan's, and it's guaranteed.
Magnan's?
Yes, Sam Magnan's. He's got an antique shop in Pismo Beach. Oh, hello, Phil.
Hiya, Jackson. Well, hello, Don. Congratulations.
Oh, thanks, Phil.
So you went and done it, eh, Don, you lucky son of a gun?
Yes, sir, and I'm very happy.
Oh, I envy you, kid. That's the life, believe me.
What?
You know, Jackson, a guy gets pretty tired of running around night after night. No sleep, no home life. What does it get you?
Is he kidding?
No, on the level, fellas. I'd like to move away from the city and buy a little ranch out in the valley.
Well, why don't you?
That fresh air would kill me.
I believe you. Phil, you're a fine guy to talk about settling down. The hours you keep.
Well, I can't help it, Jackson. I work at the Wilshire Bowl every night until 1 o'clock, don't I?
Well?
By the time I get a cup of coffee, it's 4 a.m.
4 a.m.? Phil, why don't you try having a cup of coffee just once without taking the waitress home? Just one.
Well, you know me. I gotta have sugar with my coffee. Do you get it, Jackson?
No, Phil. I'm not as sharp as I used to be.
Well, don't you get it? The waitress is sweet, so
Go on, you corny Joe. All right, can you imagine a guy pulling one like that and then trying to explain it?
You think that's bad? You should have heard the gag he pulled at the bowl the other night.
What was it?
Well, Phil was announcing a song, so he said, "And now, ladies and gentlemen, our next number is all about the manicurist who married the millionaire."
What was the title of it?
"I'll Never File Again."
Holy mackerel! You know, Phil, if you'd keep your mouth shut at the Wilshire Bowl, they could put a cover charge on. Believe me. Oh, hello, Dennis.
Hello, Mr. Benny. Gee, what I know about Don Wilson.
What?
I saw him at the Coronado Hotel last week, and he wasn't alone.
That was his wife.
Oh.
For your information, Dennis, he got married.
Congratulations, Mr. Wilson.
Well, thank you, Dennis.
You know, that marriage business might be all right for a guy like you, but none of that stuff for me.
Listen, young man, it wouldn't hurt you to meet some nice little home girl and settle down.
Nothing doing. I wouldn't give up Hetty Lamar for anything in the world.
Hetty Lamar? Why, she doesn't even know you're alive.
I can wait.
Well, Dennis, while you're waiting, how about singing your song right now?
Okay. I'm going to sing Two Dreams Met, and I dedicate it to Mr. and Mrs. Don Wilson and Hetty Lamar.
All right. Go ahead. Hold it. Come in.
Mr. Benny?
Yes?
I shot an arrow into the air and hit Don Wilson, you know where.
Well, who are you?
I am Cupid with no clothes on. And now I'll run. I'm nearly frozen.
Well, that's the most stupid Cupid I've seen in years. Sing, Dennis. Very good. That was Two Dreams Met, sung by Dennis Day, and very good. You know, Dennis, there have been a lot of dream songs lately.
Yeah, lately.
Two dreams met, Dream Valley. Now I lay me down to dream of you. That seems to be the vogue right now.
Yeah, the vogue.
Dennis. And they're all good, too. That's the funny part of it.
Talking about dream songs, Jackson, I just wrote a Lulu. It's going to be published in a couple of weeks.
What's the name of your song, Phil?
Eskimo Dream Girl, Don't Blubber Over Me.
Oh, well, that's a beautiful thought. Don't blubber over me. What's it about? Is it a ballad?
Well, it's a sort of a torch song. It's about an American guy that goes up to Alaska and he meets this Eskimo girl.
Uh-huh.
But she can't speak Eskimo, so
Eskimo? first place, it's but he can't speak Eskimo. What's that?
Well,
That's
our
a language. You don't speak at all.
That's right.
Not even you can't read your own line, but you don't know what page it's on. Well, Phil, what's the outcome of this fascinating saga of the North?
Well, the guy drives away with his dog team, and the girl stands there waving her igloo at him.
Phil, an igloo is a house made of ice.
Oh, well, I better rewrite that part.
Yeah. Learn how to read, too. It'll be good.
Reading's not going to help this any.
Huh?
Say, Mary, how about you and me singing it some night? You can be my Eskimo girl.
I'd rather be the dog team.
You got something there.
Speaking of Alaska, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about Jell-O.
What?
Whether you live in Sitka, Juneau, or Ketchikan, why don't you run down to your neighborhood grocer and catch a box of tempting, delicious Jell-O?
Catch a box? Why, Don?
For Juneau and I know that it's twice as good as ever before.
I wonder how he's going to work Sitka in there.
So look for the big red letters on the box. I will now Sitka down.
Well, I'll be darned he didn't. Don, only the fact that you got married last week excuses that surrealist plug. And now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I would like to announce... Dennis, what do you got your hand up in the air for?
I want to ask a question.
Oh. Well, in the first place, this isn't a schoolroom. And in the second place, when you want to ask a question, you raise all fingers, not just one. Now, what's the question?
Well, my mother wants to know if we're going to be in Waukegan for the Christmas holidays.
No, Dennis, we're not going to Waukegan. As a matter of fact, fellas, the premiere of my picture is going to be held in New York City.
New York City?
Yes. Alan wanted it in Old Orchard, Maine, and I wanted it in Waukegan, so I figured New York would be a fair compromise.
What do you mean, a fair compromise?
I mean, just what I say.
What are you talking about? Old Orchard, Maine is much closer to New York than Waukegan is.
It is not.
It is, too.
Would you like to make a little bet on that? About $50?
You're darn right I would.
Well, go find a sucker. Don't bother me. I guess that'll hold you, brother.
Oh, boy, are you a welcher?
I'm not a welcher. But I don't believe in gambling when there are minors present.
Dennis is over 21.
I mean coal miners. There are 3 boys in Phil's band from Scranton. The trombone section with the candle in their derby. Now, let's forget it. And now, ladies and gentlemen...
Oh, pardon me, Jack.
Yes, Don?
Would you mind terribly if I ran along? I promised the little woman that I'd get home early tonight.
No, go right ahead, Don, but I was going to buy you a bottle of champagne across the street at the Tropics right after the show. You know, I think a celebration is in order.
Oh, say, I've got a great idea. Why don't you and the gang come over to the house? I want you all to meet my wife.
Tonight? Oh, Don, that would be an imposition. 5 of us barging in without any notice or anything.
Oh, it's no imposition at all. Peggy'd love to have you.
But, Don, don't you think you ought to call your wife up and let her know we're coming? You know, barging in like this with a whole gang of people.
No, Jack, the little woman won't mind. Really, she's a peach.
Well, all right. Come on, fellas, let's go. Wait a minute. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Benny. This is Rochester.
Rochester, I haven't got time to talk to you now. We're on our way to the valley.
Well, I heard you say you were going to New York for the premiere. Does that include your loyal, devoted, and I got my clothes packed already, butler?
Yes, but I don't know why I'm taking you. The last time we were in New York, I didn't see you for 2 weeks.
You didn't look in the right places.
I'm not supposed to look for you. You're working for me, remember?
Yes, sir.
Imagine passing already. I never saw anybody so anxious to leave.
Boss, I can't wait till I get to New York. You know, the last time we were there, I only got halfway through the Metropolitan Museum. And the view from the Statue of Liberty. Why, boss, I could just stand there for hours, lost in meditation. And you know that library on Fifth Avenue?
Yes.
Well, that offers endless cultural opportunities of which one must imbibe freely.
I see. Then, from what I understand, Rochester, you're only interested in the cultural side of New York.
Up to dust, then strap me down.
thought so. I know you look like a book. Now, listen, Rochester. I have to prepare for the trip east, so I want you to send my heavy overcoat to the cleaners.
Oh, yes, the one with the green velvet collar.
That's black velvet.
Have you seen it lately?
Never mind. Just send it to the cleaners.
Okay. Oh, say, boss.
What?
I think you ought to give up that job as dog catcher at Beverly Hills.
Why?
You know those 2 Great Danes you captured yesterday?
Yes?
Well, Mr. Darrell Zanuck was just here and says one of them is his polo pony.
Which one?
The one that whinnies.
Well, all right, give it to him. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Say, boss, I don't think the other one's a Great Dane either.
It is too.
Okay, I'll take the saddle off. So long.
That's the last time I'll go out chasing dogs without my glasses. Well, come on, fellas, let's go.
I got the cab waiting, Jack.
That's swell, but I still think you ought to call up your wife.
Oh, Don knows what he's doing.
All right, let's go then. Don, I'm still worried. Are you sure your wife won't mind?
No, she'll be delighted to have you.
Am I heavy on your lap, Miss Livingston?
Yeah. Phil, why don't you hold Dennis for a while?
I just had my pants pressed. Put them on the floor.
Phil.
Well, here we are. Driver, pull up at that little white cottage there.
Okay.
Well, this is it, fellas. How much is that, driver?
$2.35.
Here you are.
Wait a minute, Don. Wait a minute. This is on me.
Oh, no, I want to pay it.
Gee, you got a cute house there, Don. Yes, sir.
Nothing doing, Dennis. I want to pay the fare.
Oh, Mr. Harris, let me pay it.
Next time, Dennis. This is my tree.
No, I insist on paying.
Got rose bushes around the door and everything. Oh, it's beautiful, you know.
Oh, Jack, pay for the cab and let's go in.
Pay for it? I'm not even in the argument. Oh, all right. How much did you say that was, driver?
$2.35.
Here's $2.50. Keep the change.
Oh, goody. Now my wife can have another baby.
Wise guy. Well, let's go in, Don.
You know, Jack, I was just thinking that maybe I should have called up my wife first.
What?
Well, with 5 people barging in unexpectedly, it might kind of upset her.
That's what I told you at the studio. I told you to call up your wife.
Come on, Don. Don't be afraid. Let's go in.
Oh, it's not that I'm afraid, Phil.
I can understand Don's side of it, all of us barging in like this.
Barging, smarging. I said that at the studio. I said, let's call the little woman up. Call her up, I said.
Quiet, will you? I'll tell you what, fellas. You all hide in the rose bushes, and I'll go in and tell Peggy that some of the gang might drop in unexpectedly. That'll kind of soften the blow.
What blow? I told you at the studio.
Oh, come on, Jackson. Let's do it his way.
All right. Come on, we'll hide in the rose bushes. Ouch, these thorns. Make it snappy, Don. Silliest thing I've ever heard of.
Oh, be quiet and get off my foot.
Oh, hello, sweetheart.
Oh, darling, you're home early.
I told you I would be. Gee, I'm hungry, dear. You got something good for supper?
Well, I'm sorry, darling. I didn't have a chance to do any shopping, so I'll just open a can of tuna fish.
Oh, that's swell, dearest.
Then 2.5 already. I'm going to get tuna fish.
What are you worrying about? You're not even in yet.
Thing that burns me up, I'm the guy that told him to call her up.
Hey, Jackson, have you got a cigarette?
What?
I say, have you got a cigarette?
No, here's a cigar.
Thanks. Oh, boy, Corona.
Don't let the label fool you.
Very funny. I wonder if Don's going to be... Hey, Dennis, stop eating those roses.
Well, I'm hungry.
So am I, but I'm going to wait. How are they?
They need salt.
Oh, stop. Hey, quiet, fellas. The porch light just went out.
Hey, fellas, are you still there?
Yeah.
Well, I just told Peggy that I saw Phil and Mary pulling up in the car, so you two better come on in first.
What about me?
You weren't in the car.
Well, for Pete's sake, I could be. You made the whole thing up. Let's all go in.
No, you can't do that. Mary and Phil come first.
Okay.
See you later, Jack.
The darnest mess I ever got into.
Yeah.
I told him at the studio, 5. Call her up, Don. Call up your wife. That's all. Call up the little woman. But no. He has to be a wise guy. And on top of that, it looks like it's going to rain.
It'll be wonderful for the roses.
Not for the roses. If I get pneumonia once more, I'm a goner.
Yeah.
Roses. Wouldn't mind waiting out here, but the worst of it is I got to talk to you.
What do we talk about?
Nothing. Just be quiet and eat your roses. Getting chilly, too. Here comes Don again.
Hey, Dennis, come on in.
Dennis?
Yeah, I told my wife I just saw him riding up on his bicycle.
Well, as long as you're dreaming things up, why didn't you see me on the handlebar? Use your bean.
Don't worry, Jack, you're next. Well, look who's here, darling. Dennis Day.
Look who's here, darling. Dennis Day. I ought to have my headache. I can't get over it. If I told him once, I told him 5 times. Call your wife. Let's not barge in on the little woman. Oh, fine. It's going to rain, all right. Can't get over that. I begged. I pleaded. Don, I said, call her. Don't barge in on the little woman. Call her up. Let her know we're coming. Never saw anything. I knew it. Well, here it comes. I'm going to get soaked. Oh, the heck with Wilson. I'm going to walk right in that house, ready or not. If he thinks I'm going to say...
Pick him up, buddy.
Huh?
You heard me. Stick him up.
Stick him up? Are you a burglar?
I ain't Santa Claus.
Now, look, mister.
Come on. Where do you carry it to?
In my right shoe. But look, mister, I was invited to a party in this house. I'm not even supposed to be out
Get
here.
that shoe off.
It's raining. I'll get my foot wet. Now, please.
Hey, Jack! Oh, Jack!
I'm...
Take your mouth shut or I'll kill you.
But he's calling me. Can't you hear?
Jack! Where are you? Not a peep out of you, buddy.
There's nobody out there, darling. You must have been mistaken.
Oh, I guess I was, dear.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, buddy. Off with that shoe.
Now, listen, mister. If I take the shoe off, I'll never get it back on again. I haven't got my button hook with me. Now, please, go away.
Come on, give me your dough.
But listen, buddy, this isn't fair. I wouldn't have been here at all if Don Wilson had taken my advice.
What are you talking about?
I'm not kidding you, buddy. If I told him once, I told him 1,000 times. Call up your wife, son. 5 people barging in on the little woman. It's an imposition. But would he listen to me? No. He had to be a wise guy. A smart ass. He wouldn't listen.
Friends, one of the easiest ways to do away with mealtime monotony is to serve a wide variety of desserts. But finding new and different treats for the family is no small task. And so that's why every Sunday we try to bring you some new dessert suggestions. This week's specialty is a swell, eye-filling, taste-teasing dessert that looks like $1 million, and yet is as simple to make as can be. Just make up 1 package of strawberry Jell-O and Jell-O its new, distinctive goodness. Enjoy it tomorrow by serving this gay, creamy combination.
Darn it. I got all my dough. I can't get my shoe back on. Oh, well.
Pardon me. Does Don Wilson live in this house?
He's married, Cupid. You got him one.
Why don't I write things down?
Good night, folks.
Thank you for listening to and showing your support for my podcast. If you would like to receive notifications of when new episodes are posted, please subscribe to my channel. Well, hope you enjoyed, and until next time, stay safe, wish you well, and as always, peace.